This is the tale of the almost perfect pirate. Hey guys, a few weeks back I did a brass casting of a dwarf merchant, which I found and printed from Thingiverse. If you saw that video, you might remember the designer of that fabulous figurine was a guy named Slovek, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, Slovek. It turned out Slovek had designed a whole load of these figures, and frankly some of these were truly amazing. And talking of amazing, lucky me, Slovek has sent me one of these fantastic figurines completely free for me to practice my casting techniques on. What a great guy! So far this process has had its ups and downs, possibly due to the different plastics involved, so Slovek's gesture is truly appreciated. And look at this fantastic figure, look at the amazing detail. It's quite large for a miniature at about 2 inches tall, and the detail pops. The more I look at this foot-tapping, accordion-playing pirate-like figure, the more I adore it. From the singing dodo on his shoulder to the mermaid on his sword. Frankly, it's a terrible shame to melt it, but that's the plan. It came with a square base, but I prefer round ones, so I printed one and stuck him down with casting wax. I decided to have him lean against a large rock, which I also made from wax. This not only secured the figure firmly to the base, it also created a thicker path for the metal to flow down. I also filled a few small gaps with wax, like under the accordion, behind the pistol and beneath the dodo. This helps prevent annoying places for the plaster to get stuck, and it also helps the metal to flow. I cut down one of my standard sprues and stuck him to it, along with a few other wax sprues which are there mainly for stability. I mixed up the plaster in the usual way and filled the flask. But this time, the burnout was going to be different. With my new process controller, I have greater control over my furnace, making it a burnout oven as well. And I decided to cook everything very slowly. I stepped in at 80 degrees Celsius and ramped up to 250, but that ramping took 10 hours. That's a really slow and gradual melt to give the plastic time to get out of the plaster. After that, everything went back to normal, and all in all it cooked for over 24 hours. And I was feeling pretty smug as I melted some bronzal ready for the pour. But that smugness was short-lived. To begin, I forgot to hit record, so the mayhem that followed is recorded only in my nightmares. I was just tilting the crucible, pouring carefully and cursing myself about the camera, when everything went dark. The power had gone out, someone had tripped a fuse, and it was one of those moments where you freeze and try to figure out what's happening. It was dark, the vacuum pump had stopped, and I was holding a crucible that was glowing at over 1,000 degrees. I'm not joking, I looked down at my gloves and they were smoking. I invented several new swear words as I quickly put the crucible down, tore off my gloves and looked at the burn on my finger. But this was bronzal, it freezes very quickly, and pump or no pump, I had to finish the pour. Wincing at the pain, I wrapped 2 gloves around one hand and got it done fast, just in time for the power to come back on. Those casting gods were certainly having a laugh at my expense.
Ha ha ha, sucks to be you.
I plunged the crucible without expectations. It was going to be a disaster. And it was. and it wasn't. Now, this is straight after a quick scrub in soapy water. I'm not polishing here, I'm just getting rid of plaster. And look at that. Look at the amazing detail. It's quite incredible how much of Slavek's amazing work has been captured in the metal. It isn't perfect. How could it be? The vacuum had failed and the bottom clearly shows how the metal had cooled too much. But still, the detail of this tiny 2-inch high figure is fabulous. Incredibly, some of the tiny flaws on the original that my eyes hadn't even seen were replicated in the casting. I'm not sure if Slavek will ever subject any of his fabulous creations to my massacring hands again, which is a real shame as he has some fantastic pieces, but I think with the aid of a slow burnout, perfection really is within grasp here. So please do check out Slavek's work on his website. His figures are incredible, full of character and detail, and worth every penny. So I hope you enjoyed the Almost Perfect Pirate cast. Take care guys, and thanks for watching.